Grand Rising, guys. I hope all is well. I hope everybody is having an amazing rising. And so the children are still asleep, but I'll be waking them up shortly just to get our day started. And our day yesterday, so I'm going to be homeschooling, unschooling, or however that is. So that's what I'll be doing this upcoming year. So we're breaking free of the whole school system. And it's really exciting. However, for me, it's, I'm a little anxious about it just because I've been, I'm thinking that I have to do it a certain way, which I know in my spirit tells me you're doing it perfectly now. So just what you're doing is working. Just the idea that you can do this, you guys can do this, it's going to be fun and an enjoyable experience. That's the benefit has already come. And so, yesterday we started, in my own mind, I was like, I'm going to start these practice things, like it's kind of like summer year round. So I'm thinking of different activities and things in which we'll do. And so yesterday I took the 3 and I allowed them to pick what park they wanted to go to. And we explored and we did some exercises and we looked for ducks and fed some squirrels, and we checked out different trees and different plants, and it was a fun-filled day. They had time to play, and they played on the park, on the toys and whatever there. And so today we're gonna do the same thing. And I'm also thinking that we're gonna, stop by the library and pick up a couple books. And then I noticed that there's also these conference room these little rooms that you can not rent, but sign up to use at the library. And I was thinking, well, this would be a great place that the children could pick a topic and research that topic. And then we could go maybe a couple days a week or whatever in this little room. And there's there's a whitewash board, a dry erase board, and a table. And so that way, my little children will be able to pick their topic, each pick their own topic, research that topic, and then they will become the teacher. So they will be able to read the information, gather the information, understand how to relay that information back to us so that we can learn as well. And then that's giving them that sense of power that comes with being able to teach. So, they'll be able to teach on the dry erase board what they learned. They can share their references with us. And then if we want to, grow and expand on whatever topic it was, then we'll be able to do that as well. And I'm so looking forward to this. We packed our fruit yesterday, so each child packed up their lunch, because that's what they were doing for, while they're in school anyway. We don't partake in the school lunch, so they packed their lunch in the morning. And so that's what they did yesterday. We all packed our fruit, and it was great. But really, it's been this week that they're having this spring break or whatnot has really been where I have set myself as this is a practice test run to just see how this goes, because really I was a little, I'm not going to say fearful. I'm not fearful of how it works out, because I mean, all I really have to do is allow them to be children, and they will grow and blossom exactly the way they are supposed to. And that is so magical, you know? That this opportunity has presented itself as such a gift that I can give them, that I can share with them. And I find myself these days I'm a much different parent than I was brought up with. Whereas I just, sit in the middle of their circle, and I'm just present. I'm just there. And that's something that I really never experienced as a child. Like, I never really had an adult just sit with me and give me opportunity to ask questions and the adult just answer. And I don't have all the answers. Obviously, I don't have all the answers. But then I say, okay, well, let's look into that. Like, that's a great question. Like, let's look into that. And so that's what school takes away from the child's experience, because the child doesn't ever really get to say, well, what about that? And what about this? And what about this? Because I remember being that child. And I remember asking questions that were off of what the teacher was trying to teach. And because my questions are usually so off the wall, I'm like way different with my questions. Like, I'm thinking deeper. I'm more, I'm more of a deep thinker than just what's at the surface. So that's what I want for my children to be able to explore as well. Like, that's not a dumb question. You remember sitting in the classroom, and I remember sitting in the classroom, and the teacher would be teaching, and then I'd raise my hand, and I'd ask a question, and maybe the other students thought it was a dumb question or whatever, and then everybody kind of like turns and looks at you, and they're like, and they give you their take on your question. And the teacher kind of, well, that's not what we're learning about right now. But over time, raising your hand and asking these questions that may be deeper than what the actual lesson is, because some of these lessons are so bogus. It's like, wait, what did you say? That doesn't, can I ask oh no, that your question is absolutely makes no sense. So we're going to laugh at you. And then over time, I stopped raising my hand. I would just stop raising my hand altogether, because first off, the other children would laugh at me because my questions were not like theirs. The teacher didn't give me any time. I really didn't have, I had great parents. I'm not saying that. I'm just, they weren't like sitting with me like, give me all your questions and let's run through them. So I ended up really seeking outside for the answers, which I'm so grateful for now, because here I am, and I'm so out of that box that now my questions are amazing to me. I'm like, That was a great question, Sarah. Yes, I know. And so that's really what I want to. It's really what I want for my children now, and I'm going to give them that. And so, yeah, this morning I'm just going through different homeschool, wild school, forest school, earth school, nature school, different ways in which very creative parents have taken their power back, and now they're gifting their children all kind of great opportunities. So I'm really taking in all sorts of different things that I'm learning, and I'm like, man, this is going to be so magical. This is going to be so great. Because you feel like such an outcast, like when you don't like match up with the peers. And you're just trying to be like an ordinary student and just do what the ordinary students do. But what happens if you're not ordinary? What happens to those extraordinary students? So they get put in this gifted class? But what if they're not gifted in necessarily those areas? What if their gifts are way out there? And maybe the teachers have no idea what to do with that gift. So that child spends their 8 hours not knowing what their gifts are, never really, depending about what's going on at home, but in the standard American way, parents are working, children are at school, they come back, they do homework, spend a little time, dinner, bath, bed, get ready for school tomorrow. So when does that child really have the time to sit down? I can only imagine. I know I've been sharing like my daughter's art or different things like, Mom, can you buy me a modeling clay set? Sure, absolutely. And so I did so. And then I walk into her room one day and she had this face. You guys saw it. It's a mother, an expectant mother, sitting like Indian style she has a bun in her eye, And my daughter had this clay model, like the head on a pencil, and she's there molding it. And I was like, I'm blown away. Oh, wait, this came from, who gave you this idea? She was like, oh no, and if you take the top of the tummy off, there's a baby inside. And I was like, what? What? And she says to me one day, she says, I don't really pay attention in school. She does her work. She's passing. She makes grades and whatever. And she was like, but I don't really get into what they're talking about. And I don't ever fit into like the group conversations that they're having. And I'm not really interested in anything they're teaching, but I do my work so I can make it through the day. And I said, Ariel, like, what if you had nothing but time to sit down and work on your passions, like your creativity? Oh, I would love that. I would also like to take a French class. I was like, oh, well, sure, we can. So if anybody knows of any classes that I would much prefer it to be something that she could do like one-on-one with someone, some French classes. She wants to learn French. So if anybody knows someone that can assist me with that or lead me in the right direction, that would be great. I kind of looked up different avenues of it, but a lot of things I'm finding are like classes online, and I would rather it be like one-on-one, because that's how I feel that she's learning best, like one-on-one. And so yeah, she was. So I said, what if we spent all day focusing on the things that you wanted to do? Really? And she lit up, like, she lit up. And it was like, really? Like, yeah. Like, what if we did that? And then there comes the younger one, like, what? I want to do that too. Okay. Let's do that. And so I really think that we're putting together some great ideas on how we're going to grow. Not only, they are not only growing, like I am growing, because I've never been a homeschool mom before, you know? I don't even know anybody, like in my immediate family or whatnot, that even homeschooled. Like, I don't even know what that looks like. And I don't want it to be like the, because we tried when this whole thing first started a couple years back. We tried the whole virtual. That was like a epic fail, because they were expecting these children to be able to get on the computer and just learn it. And some children don't, some children aren't learners in that way. So some children like hands-on, some children like interaction, everybody learns differently. So why are we putting them all in the same room and expecting Susie and Tommy and Billy and Bobby and everybody to learn at the same pace, at the same time, with the same curriculum, at the same, no. So I'm super grateful and super happy today, because we're going to go on another adventure. So our little practice run for yesterday was super. We did super. Everybody got along. All electronic devices stayed home. We did the exploring. Everybody got along so well. Because there was no competition, or because they're all at different levels, wanting to learn and seek different things. So they were not in competition with one another. One wanted to go see this, we did that. One wanted to go do this, we did that. One wanted to go do that, we did this. And so nobody was, they weren't in competition with one another for a star or a grade or a good job. They did a great job, but they knew they were doing a great job. They just knew, because they were like, oh, look at this, look what I learned. Oh my gosh, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. And that 8 hours a day that I didn't know, because they come home with their studies, and I'm like, yeah, can you help me with this? Not. I mean, I can help you sound out words, and I can't even really help you with your math anymore, because it's so absolutely bogus the way they want you to learn it. I can teach you the way to do it, but you'll get to school and your work won't be correct. And so even though you came up with the same answer, you didn't do it the right way to get the answer, so then you're told that it's wrong. And do you know how many different ways there are to build a fire? You can stack wood all sorts of ways. You can climb trees all different ways. You can get the basket from the top of the cabinet that you can't reach in all different ways. And all of these children have a different way in which they want to get to the top of the cabinet to get the basket. One of them might stack chairs. One of them might get the step stool. One of them might just, Spider-Man on the wall. And they're all right because they all got the basket. But if I sit them in the classroom that tells them absolutely that is the wrong way to get the basket, they'll never get the basket. They'll just be like, well, you know what? You get the basket then. I don't want to get the basket. Every time I try to get the basket, you tell me it's wrong. Never mind. You understand what I mean? I know some of you understand what I mean. Like, this is such a great spiritual journey that I'm on. This is such a great opportunity of unlearning and relearning, and shit, I'm learning too. I'm learning too. Like, breaking these generational things that, like, you must do this and this way, and you must wear that and do this and eat this and that. Even when they bring their lunch, like, the other children in the lunchroom call them weird for eating fresh fruit. Why are you eating that? Oh, I mean, why can't you eat the school lunch? Like, why don't you just eat this with the... Because I want to eat fresh fruit, you guys. I don't want to eat that hot dog and tater tots. You guys can eat it. Enjoy the shit out of it. But this cantaloupe is so juicy and nutritious. Like, this is the route I'm taking. And there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. That's all I got. I'm going to go. I see the sun is peaking. So I'm going to go and soak up some sunshine before we get up and start our adventure. So I just wanted to drop in and say that this is not one of the easiest things that I've done or will do. You know, this is not... but really, when I get out of my own way and I stop allowing that fear to, oh my gosh, but what if they won't be successful? What is successful? What is successful? Well, what if they won't be able to get a job? What if they start their own business? Well, what if they won't fit in socially? What do you mean? Like, have you met them? They're the kindest, most loving, gentle children that I've ever come across. These children let caterpillars cross the driveway. Why would they not be accepted? And if nobody wants to accept them in their kind, gentle way, then there are others out here who are kind and gentle, and we'll find those folks, because we really don't want to fit in with the ones that would have a problem with them the way they are, you know? That's all I got. I hope everybody has a remarkably wonderful Tuesday. And, yeah. Peace. And wholeness.